Welcome to the pod, former Arsenal, London Bees and Brighton goalkeeper, Sophie Harris.
Welcome. Hello, ladies. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I mean, you're already sort of up there as one of our most favourite and treasured guests.
You've set the bar high.
Very high, because I think you're going to gift us something. We've never been gifted anything before.
Well, I thought to myself, what am I going to bring to the table? I've got two ladies here that are absolutely smashing it in life right now. So I was like, how am I going to kind of get myself up there really and join the crew? So I thought to myself, what can I bring to the table? And if you ask any of my teammates, they're going to be so jealous right now because, you know, it's your birthday, you have to bring something in.
Of course.
And I'm like, right, what can I bring? And I have brought my legendary shortbread for the table. So thank you for having me. Enjoy. It's probably not a 10 out of 10 this time, but...
Oh, my God.
Amazing. We're literally reaching in.
We're eating, guys.
All hands in. Wait a second.
1 second. We'll tell you now.
We'll pause the pod.
Live reaction.
Oh, the big bits better.
Big bits. Wait a
go
second. You can actually hear the crunch. Ready?
Oh, my gosh, like an ASMR podcast.
Oh, my God, yeah. Delivering everything.
These are excellent.
My God, that's amazing.
Oh, wow, they just get better.
You can come again, Soph.
Thank you.
Future guests. The bar is high now.
The Art of Goalkeeping, as it's been entitled by our producer, Finn. Sophie, you retired last month after 11 years as a professional player. I mean, we've got to go back to the start when you were first honing your craft. You've got some very interesting stories about the relationship that you had with your dad. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've mentioned in previous, like, my dad was my coach growing up. And I was very lucky for that. Obviously, he was probably one of the main reasons as to why I got where I did in my career. But yeah, it kind of went a little bit sour when I'm obviously, you know, in my professional career, I'm loving life, and the players that he was coaching come and take my spot. So I said to him, I was like, Dad, you're going to have to stop now because you're just ruining my career. The whole point was you got to be there for me. And now the players that you are coaching are coming and taking my spot. It happened twice. I said, you've got to stop now. He retired. And now I'm retired. He can go back to it if he likes. But so it just goes to show, like, he obviously was a great coach and
a little bit too good.
Yeah, a little bit too good. Yeah. But I was very lucky. Not many girls had that opportunity. Like we spoke, the amount of goalkeeping coaches that were around at that time were very limited. So yeah, I was lucky to have him. And apart from I was in a family full of goalkeepers. My brother was a goalkeeper, obviously, my dad. And my brother used to just put me against the fence in the garden and fire balls at me.
Love that.
And that was, so that was kind of our family experience, growing up.
I love that because normally people are like, oh, I got put in goal because someone got injured or because we didn't have one. I love that someone that my whole family were goalkeepers. Like, I didn't have a choice. I was going to be a goalkeeper. That was it.
I spoke to my brother the other day and he says, I still remember that time when we were in the garden and I thought I had a shot and it top corner and I just come out of nowhere and tip it over the fence. But obviously it went over the fence. We had to then go and get it, which he wasn't happy about. But yeah, I can't even remember it, but he still does. So it just goes to show, like, the impact that it has growing up and stuff like that.
Wow.
And are you still speaking to your dad after?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
I'm retired now, so all of that
back on good terms. Yeah. Back invited to Christmas parties again. Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys because we were talking about this before we came into the studio. You know, we often talk a lot about the professionalization of the game and the changes that have come from that and how fast the game has grown, but often the last thing to reach that or the last thing to be professionalised was goalkeeping, right? Because we had teams being professional, but getting a goalkeeper coach was almost the last piece of the puzzle. And you look at that back at the 2019 World Cup, and one of the big talking points about that tournament was the incredible goalkeeping. Like how quickly a goalkeeping coach made an impact. Do you remember your first, obviously your dad, but do you remember at a club like your first goalkeeping coaches?
Yeah, I think we've discussed, and I think that was the position that kind of got put back and was kind of not a priority in teams. And there was times where we would get volunteers, or you would see, like, on the other team where the assistant manager would just like throw a few balls in the warm up and be like, yeah, that's fine, they should be warm, or you just kick it however you like at them. And I'm going to be biased, but there's an art and craft to our position, and it's very specific. And I feel like obviously now people are seeing that the level of goalkeeping is 100% improving. You see the young females coming through, like it is amazing. Obviously they're getting coached from such a young age, and I think it just goes to show that having that investment in that position is just going to work wonders. Like you said, like the quality of goalkeepers that are coming through is really showing.
Yeah, I think it's been a really interesting time for goalkeeping. I think me and Sophie being the sort of older generation of goalkeepers, and I'd say that loosely because Sophie's a few years younger than me.
And we're all still babies.
We are all still babies, yeah. I mean, late
At
20s,
heart.
early 30s is still kind of
Mid-30s.
babyish. Yeah, mid-30s for you.
Nearly.
And I think when I was a right back for a very long time, and then I only just got into goalkeeping at 21 when I was thrown into it after an injury. Yeah, not an exciting story. I wish I had something more exciting to say about that. And I didn't have a goalkeeper coach up until I was about 24, 25. And the difference between where I was sort of just doing, like Sophie was saying, sort of a couple of volleys to hands, couple of low dives for a warm-up, and then going from that to talking about distribution and playing out from the back and communication styles and mentality, resilience, confidence building, underarm throws, overarm throws, dealing with your barriers, like all the kind of technical aspects that go with goalkeeping. Like, it's not just when you see Mary Earps making a save like that, that's come because she's in the right position, her hand shape's right, the distribution of her body weight is right, the communication that's been in the lead up to that shot has been right. All these really minute bits of detail that you don't get unless you have a coach who knows how to teach you about those things. So unless you have that, you're not going to take it to the next level. So I wouldn't have been at, Spurs wouldn't have made it into I wouldn't have made it into the WSL had I not had a goalkeeper coach in the leader in the 2-3 seasons before that.
You go from being used as a prop to help your forwards learn how to score, which is effectively what you'd be used as, to actually being, we need our goalkeeper to be a really good goalkeeper for the rest of the team, because that sets the rest of the team up if you've got a good keeper between
100%,
the sticks.
and I think you speak about all the different aspects of goalkeeping, and when an outfield coach watches or your manager watches, they don't know those specific details that you need to learn. And say, for example, we make a save. Oh, it's a good save. Yeah, but why?
Mm-hmm.
Or we make a mistake and it's, like they should be doing better there. And it's almost like I look at I'm so protective over my goalkeepers now when I'm coaching, because you don't know the 100 things that they've had to do prior to that one moment, then to be able to make that save, or they think, they should just be doing that better. But we see it as, they've parried it into a good area. And I think that's what helps, having that goalkeeping coach to then have your back almost as well, to be able to kind of give that knowledge to the coaches, because I think it's so important to have that and have that. You say goalkeeping union, don't you? Everyone hears it, but as cliche as it is really important.
True.
Yeah.
Did things change? Like, was there a noticeable difference when you went to Arsenal?
In terms of
like the facilities and like training, or was it, where a goalkeeper's still not getting?
No, yeah. So we had Emma was actually my goalkeeping coach for the academy.
Can you imagine?
That's so cool.
That's your starting career with Emma Byrne.
Yeah. So she'd obviously coach me throughout the day, and then obviously I'd go and train with her in the night time, and I was like, this is really weird. But yeah, no, it was a great experience to be able to learn under her, and obviously she was a big legend of the game. So
Still is.
100%.
I mean, Finn, our producer, has put in here another stereotype that goalkeepers are the loners of the squad.
What?
Which I find highly offensive and very rude.
If he'd said weirdos, like, fine, but loners.
Yeah.
I would really beg to differ. I think goalkeepers have the biggest personalities in the squad. You have to be able to shout at 10 players for 90 minutes and tell them what to do, whilst also concentrating on what you have to do in that split second moment. It's like one of the hardest things on the planet.
Did you guys get did you ever do like fines meetings and stuff like that with squads, or like initiation stuff? And I always found that goalkeepers always got the most. I always got the most punishment out of these things because I was a goalkeeper. There were so many things they could like label you for.
There is big, like a stereotype, like for goalkeepers is you're weird. Like,
yeah, mad.
I always used to get told you are so normal for a goalkeeper, and I'm like, do I take this as a compliment or is it that like still offensive? I'm not too sure. But I think obviously I played at quite a few teams, but every time obviously I went to a new team, I had two two personalities really, one off the pitch and one on the pitch. Like I would go onto the pitch and I'd turn into a completely different human, and everyone used to be like, who the hell is she?
Who's this girl who just baked us lovely treats? And like now she's screaming at me.
Yeah, but I think obviously my role changed at every single team. Like I started off at Arsenal kind of learning the trade almost. Same with Brighton, obviously had my injuries, and then I went to Leicester and Southampton, and that was more of an opportunity to be more of an experienced player, and I think that changed me, like personality wise as well, and like the initiations came and I just went for it. But I think that was kind of a big difference for me, is you probably looked at me and met me at one team when I was at the start of my career, and then you looked at me at the end and I was two completely different people.
And just on that, what have your initiations been, Soph? Are you allowed to say?
Well, I always
singing. Gotta be singing.
I used to grow up with my brother and my mum. We had a song, and oh my god, my mind's gone blank.
Oh my god, you're going to be disowned. You've just slated your dad and now you've forgotten the song. Like, you're not going to be allowed home.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Oh, what a track.
So I'm not going to kind of...
Why? I'll do the other bit.
Please don't.
But yeah,
unless it's Bublé, she doesn't want to know.
That was my song for a long time. And yeah, so it kind of had something for me, a little bit more of a personal thing that obviously everyone knew, which was nice. But yeah, it made it comfortable for me to be able to do it in front of everyone.
They always make it a really embarrassing thing. So you've got to do it like at the front of the bus, like on an away game, or you've got to do it in like the hotel when you get there, or like it's a public embarrassment.
You've got to just go for it though, don't you? Like,
yeah, I mean,
there's no point being shy about it because you've got to do it. So
no, it's worse if you're shy about it. It's half-hearted. Yeah, preferably you're better with props like wigs and like an actual microphone and maybe some dress up as well. Like you might as well just
Chloe's initiation. She whips
yeah.
out her costume bag. One sec, guys.
Literally.
I want to see your initiation if this is what you get. 100%.
And I won't be telling any more people about that. That's my alter ego. I mean, looking back at
That's Morky_69, isn't it?
That was a different era. I've retired now from both performing and goalkeeping. And we'll catch up with you later on in the year. We'll have to have you back on and find out how you're doing.
With more treats.
With more treats, yeah. You can only come back on or brownies or just anything, actually.
Put your requests in now. Give it a go, yeah.
Amazing. All right, sweet. Well, we'll get thinking.